This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. That was just me fooling around a little bit with some double stops, specifically sixths. And the reason I was doing that was because today is Wednesday, and as you know, we talk about music theory on a Wednesday, or at least I do anyway. And I had a request a couple of weeks ago to do a theory episode on double stops, and I'm going to do two theory episodes on double stops. This week we're looking at sixths, and you've just seen me using them there, and next week it's going to be thirds. So without further ado, let's crack on with a little bit of an explanation about what sixths are and how you use them and how you can figure them out on the neck of the guitar. Here it is. Okay then, sixths, or double stops of any nature. What's going on is you are arranging notes of a scale into pairs, and in the case of sixths, those pairs are going to be 6 scale steps apart. So it stands to reason that you need to know what scale you're dealing with. Now, if you've got a bit of experience and you can look at a chord sequence and think, aha, yes, I know what scale will fit over that, then all well and good. But maybe you don't. So what you do is you take a look at the chord sequence, like this one that we've got here, that I played over earlier, and you look at what notes are in each of the chords. Okay, so there's a skill that you might want to sharpen up a little bit on, just knowing what notes are in any given chord. Once you've figured out what notes are in the chords, you add those notes together, and as you can see in this case here, it gives us a G major scale. And once you know what scale you're dealing with, all you got to do is count 6 notes up that scale, which in this case takes us to an E note, G, A, B, C, D, E, like that. And what you then do is you pair up the notes that are 6 scale steps apart. Essentially, you start the scale again from the 6th note and then track it with the original scale from its original starting point. That then gives you pairs of notes which are 6 scale steps apart, sixths. Now, on the guitar, we are lucky enough that we have a G string and an E string. And that is, as you may remember from a few seconds ago, G to E is a sixth. So it makes it very easy to map out the sixths on the G and E strings. And it looks like this. And I could go up further, but you get the point. In terms of technique, what I'm doing here, well, let's look at this hand first of all. You can see there are basically 2 shapes involved. There's this shape and there's this shape. And you'll notice that what I'm doing is keeping the second finger as the sort of runner, basically. That's the thing that I'm tracking up the scale with, and then I'm just kind of hopping back and forth between that finger going onto the first string and that finger going onto the first string, and then it's just memorizing that set of movements. Like that. In terms of the right hand technique, there's a couple of different ways you can do this here. What I've just done there is something called hybrid picking, where basically what I'm doing is I'm using the pick on the 3rd string, on the G string, with a downstroke, and I'm using the 3rd finger of this hand to catch the top E string with an upstroke. So it's that kind of motion, like that. Okay. The other way that you can play these is with a more kind of percussive, strummy technique. And let me just go back to the other hand again and show you what's happening there. Basically, again, the fingering that I'm doing with this hand stays the same as before. So there's my 2nd finger on the G string, and as well as fretting the note that it's responsible for on the G string, it's also kind of just butting up against the D string rather, so that we're muting that, and it's also leaning down onto the B string. So that means I can strum like that on those 4 strings, the 4th, 3rd, 2nd and 1st strings, and I'm only hearing the 2 strings that I want to hear. So that means I can get that kind of thing. Another very effective technique for playing like these 6th intervals. It's not just on the G and E strings though, you can also do it on the D and B string pair, because D and B are a 6th apart in the G major scale, or anything really. So I can play the same kind of runs using the same shapes on the D and B strings. It looks like this. Like that. And again, all of the same kind of things, either hybrid picking like you just seen there, let's do a little bit more of that. Or maybe, that kind of percussive sort of technique. Like that, and that's basically how I use 6ths. One other thing that you can do is where you've got like a pair of, I refer to these 2 shapes that we use as being like the diagonal and the straight line, like that, because that's forming a diagonal line and that's forming a straight line. Wherever you've got this kind of thing, where you've got a straight line and then 2 frets above another straight line, it's nice to just connect them chromatically, so like that. Or where you've got 2 diagonals that are 2 frets apart. Do the same thing there. Like that. Just a very effective way of adding a little bit of chromatic colour to proceedings, and it immediately starts making you think in terms of all of these blues licks, that kind of thing just starts springing to mind. So there you go. That is what 6ths are, how to figure them out, and how to use them. Very effective technique, so go away and have some fun with it. And there is, of course, a full tab for that little 6ths solo that I played at the top of the video, and that clip of me explaining it there and me playing it. The tab is available in Guitar Pro and PDF format as well, and there's a jam track as well. Oh, and the diagrams that you saw on screen there of how they all map out on the neck, all of that is up on my Patreon page. There's the address, and the link is, of course, in the description. It's only $3 a month, and you get all of these extra resources that go along with these YouTube lessons that I do, and a few other bits and pieces as well. Thank you so much to everybody who is contributing in that way, helping me keep the lights on around here, or any of the other ways that, as I say, are all linked down in the description. And thank you in advance if you're thinking about doing it. And that is pretty much it for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed the video, found it useful, informative, interesting, and perhaps a little bit inspiring. And if you have, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done done so, and why not give me a like while you're at it. Don't forget the live stream, as I'm sure you know, 5 p.m. every Friday UK time, where we sit round and have a beer and a chat about music and guitar and anything else that might crop up. It's a fantastic way to kick off the weekend, and I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.